Hello everyone, Mucklet Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this is a guide aimed at showing you how to craft Klobjarne, the legendary spear in Janthir Wilds. Let's get started. First off, why would you want legendary gear? Legendary gear has the same stats as ascended gear. This means if you have a piece of ascended gear with power, precision, and ferocity on it, and a legendary gear with those same three stats, the numbers will be the same. However, the legendary gear can swap to other stats at any time you are out of combat. This means you can use that weapon with every gear set you own or aim to own, and it can always have the desired stats. Additionally, when you replace a rune or infusion on a legendary item, the old one pops off instead of getting deleted, which can save a lot of cash if you swap builds often. The final reason you might want it is if you think it looks gorgeous. Oh! Let's go over the information that is helpful to know early on. Crafting requirements. All of the steps in this legendary that require crafting can be done through the aid of NPCs, so you do not have to level any crafting skills to make this legendary. However, the NPCs charge much more for the crafts than it would cost for you to do them yourself, so if you choose to have the NPCs do the crafting for you, know that it will be more expensive. If, as a result of this information, you wish to level some crafting skills yourself, I highly recommend GW2crafts.net, which makes the process very easy. I'll link a guide which includes instructions on how to use this website down below if you desire it. Story requirements. You will need to finish Chapter 13, Balrior Peak, to be able to talk with a certain bear named Unending Tribute, who provides some of what you need to craft the spear. You will find him here in the Mall Boneyards. You will need to purchase these 3 achievements from him. Unlock these early so you can start getting credit for these while you're just playing the game. The 3 achievements are 250 spear kills in Janthir, Janthir convergence and raid victories. This is finished by doing either 3 Janthir raid boss kills or 7 Janthir convergence clears or some combination thereof. World boss or meta victories. This does work in Corteria. I got credit for the Claw of Jormag while working on this. Mastery requirements. Adept handiworker crafting under homesteading unless you are buying the shards of the homestead off the trading post. More on what these are in a moment. Timegates. 100 shards of lowland shore. You can get 21 of these per week at a cheap price. If you want to get them faster, it will be much more expensive. These are obtained by doing hearts in lowland shore and then purchasing them from the heart vendor. Up to 7 cheaper purchases per vendor, resets each weekly reset. 100 shards of Janthir Sentry. You can get 21 of these per week at a cheap price. If you want to get them faster, it'll be much more expensive. These are obtained from doing hearts in Janthir Sentry and then purchasing them from the heart vendor. Up to 7 cheaper purchases per vendor, resets each weekly reset. You need 1,500 refined homestead metal, fiber, and wood. 1,250 of each of those is being turned into the 250 shards of the homestead. If you buy the shards of the homestead from others, then you only need 250 of each of the refined homestead metal, fiber, and wood. You can get these for fairly cheap from your homestead devices, but the number of inexpensive trades you can do resets each week. 6 Deldramore steel spear heads. Uses a total of 18 Deldramore steel ingots, which uses a total of 18 lump of mithrilium, and you can only make 1 lump per day. You can just buy Deldramore steel ingots on the trading post, but it is more expensive. 6 large spirit wood halves. Uses a total of 12 spirit wood planks, which uses a total of 12 globs of elder spirit residue, and you can only make 1 glob per day. You can just buy spirit wood planks off the TP, but it's more expensive that way. Okay, that should just about cover all of the items that you could consider time-gated. Everything else, like most legendaries, is a large shopping list that you can do in any order. I want to stress that a legendary is typically a long-term project. You can, in some cases, sink a massive amount of gold and finish a legendary in a day. Or you can chip away at it slowly, working on it a little each day over weeks, and get it done without feeling like you just went bankrupt. Do whichever you like, or anywhere in between. I'm a fan of the slow and steady approach. I like to constantly be working on a legendary as a side project while I'm playing at all times. This is the Guild Wars 2 wiki page for Klobjarne, which has our shopping list. You can also use GW2 efficiency to track the same list, and if you have your API key set up there, you can easily see what you have and what you still need. Let's take it from the top. First item, 100 sweet-treated pine planks. These are made with honey flowers found in Lowland Shore and rewarded from some event chests. Lowland pine logs, same thing. 300 globs of ectoplasm. If you don't already know, these are salvaged from level 80 yellow and orange items, and 500 orichalcum ingots. 100 neutralized titan alloys. You will need rotted titan ambers and charged titan ores, both from Janthir Century and various event chests. You will again need ectoplasms and orichalcum ingots. All of the above ingredients and the products themselves are tradable if you wish to buy some of these. 100 shards of Lowland Shore and shards of Janthir Century. These are purchased from heart vendors. As mentioned earlier, you can get 7 per heart vendor for a total of 21 of each of the shard types per week for a cheap rate if you have done the heart. You can buy them off the trading post from others if you wish. To purchase them, you will be spending amalgamated gemstones. These come from hundreds of different sources in the game. If you wish to farm these or craft them, I will link the page of amalgamated recipes down below. The Lowland Shore shards will need curious lowland honeycombs. These come from events in Lowland Shore. Additionally, if you have extras, you can consume them for Ursus obliges, which can be useful later on. Likewise, the curious Mursat currencies come from events in Janthir Century. Once you eventually get enough of the sweet treated pine planks, neutralized titan alloys, shards of Lowland Shore, and shards of Janthir Century, throw all of them in the Mystic Forge to make a gift of Gatherer of the Hunt. Next, we need 100 Mursat Runestones. These can be obtained from jumping puzzles in Janthir, sniffing around with a Warclaw, or purchasing them off the TP. There are a few other sources, but those are the main ones. Gift of Lowland Shore. This is obtained for free after your first map completion of Lowland Shore. Gift of Janthir Century is obtained for free after your first map completion of Janthir Century. A small note on the 2 map completion gifts. You could purchase them additional times from the same bear if you wish to make more legendaries to sell or whatever and don't want to do map comp on other characters. Gift of the Ursus. Okay, remember that bear on Mall Boneyard that gave us the achievements earlier? Go back to him. We want to buy this gift there. It will cost us 25 honeycomb and Mursat currencies, which we went over earlier, 250 unusual coins, primarily obtained from jumping puzzles, chests, and sniffing around Janthir with the Warclaw, and 1,250 Ursus obliges. The obliges come from various events around Janthir, but you can also consume honeycomb or Mursat currencies to get 5 obliges per currency. So if you, for example, have an extra 100 honeycomb, that can be turned into 500 obliges. So any event that awards these can give you a lot fairly quickly. Once you have your Mursat runestones, your 2 map gifts, and your gift of the Ursus, throw them all into the Mystic Forge to make Gift of Uncovered Grounds. Next up is 12 amalgamated Rift Essences. These are made with the 3 types of Rift Essences and globs of ectoplasm by the following crafting professions. You may already have these if you played in the previous expansion. If not, you get these essences by doing rift hunting or by doing convergences. Since you may be doing Janthir convergences anyway for the Do Convergences or Raids achievement, you can get some of these materials at the same time. Eldritch Scroll is purchased from the merchants next to the Mystic Forges for 50 Spirit Shards. For the new players, Spirit Shards are obtained by leveling up after you are already level 80 if you are not currently working on any mastery points. 50 Obsidian Shards. Obsidian has hundreds of ways in the game to be obtained. If you do not have enough Obsidian, I will link the Obsidian wiki page in the description down below, and you can browse the massive list of sources for one that you don't mind doing. Cube of Stabilized Dark Energy. To craft this, you will need a Ball of Dark Energy, which is salvaged from Ascended equipment. You should always get one from salvaging Ascended armor or weapons, but it is not guaranteed from accessories, rings, etc. Stabilizing matrices are from fractals, however these are tradable and you can get them on the TP if you wish. Combining them into the cube requires one of the following professions, or getting it done from Ward Crafter Lucere for a higher price in Lowland Shore. Next up is Bloodstone Shard, purchased from those Mystic Forge merchants again for 200 Spirit Shards. Now you can throw in the Gift of Gatherer of the Hunt, Gift of Uncovered Grounds, Gift of Expertise, and the Bloodstone Shard into the Mystic Forge to get a Gift of Janthir Wilds. Next up is the earlier mentioned Homestead stuff. We will need 1,500 of each of the refined Homestead metal, fiber, and wood to make everything ourselves. 1,250 of that is going into making Shards of the Homestead. The Shards of the Homestead require the earlier mentioned mastery to be purchased from the bear in your home. Why doesn't this guy have his own house? If you purchase the Shards of the Homestead from other players, then you only need to get 250 of each of the 3 refined Homestead materials. You may make these at your Homestead stations in any combination combination of ways that you wish. You may also wish to first upgrade the efficiency of said stations to get better returns for your trades, but that is up to you. Once you have acquired 250 shards of the homestead from any source, plus 250 of each of the 3 refined homestead materials, throw them all into the Mystic Forge to get a gift of Embracing Refuge. Next up is simple. We need gifts of fangs, scales, claws, bones, blood, venoms, totems, and dust. Each of these are made with the mentioned ingredients and combined by one of the following crafting professions, or the earlier mentioned NPC can do it also. After you get the gifts of fangs, scales, claws, and bones, combine them in the Mystic Forge to make gift of Condensed Might, and combine the gifts of blood, venom, totems, and dust in the Mystic Forge to make a gift of Condensed Magic. Next is 38 Mystic Clovers. Clovers have many sources in the game, such as the Wizard's Vault, purchased from Fractal Merchants, Raid Merchants, PvP Merchants, Strike Merchants, World v World Merchants, or even crafted from Mystic Coins. Note, I call this gamble forging because you get clovers from coin crafts like 30% of the time, so it's up to you which method you prefer. Once you have acquired your gift of Embracing Refuge, Condensed Might, Condensed Magic, and clovers, throw them into the Mystic Forge for gift of the Homesteader. Next up, you need 100 Mystic Runestones sold by the Mystic Forge Merchant. These are 1 gold each and will cost you 100 gold total. This is unavoidable. Gift of the Mists. Gift of the Mists first requires a Gift of Battle, which can only be obtained in World v World. A reminder that you could speed up the process of getting this done by many hours by using boosts that increase reward track speed. Gift of Glory is purchased from the Mystic Forge Merchant for 250 shards of glory. This resource is from Conquest PvP, however it is tradable. You can buy the shards of glory from the trading post if you do not wish to PvP, and then trade them for the Gift of Glory. Gift of War, similar to the last item, is sold by the Mystic Forge Merchant, but this time for Memories of Battle, a World v World currency. If after obtaining your Gift of Battle you do not have enough memories, you can buy the missing memories from the trading post to get this. And another cube of Stabilized Dark Energy, just like the one we made earlier. Combine the Gift of Battle, Glory, War, and the cube in the Mystic Forge to make a Gift of the Mists. Next up is 250 Thermocatalytic Reagents, bought from a Mastery Craftsman. Just buy it from the merchant. 500 Hydrocatalytic Reagents. That's 2 stacks of 250 each from the same merchant. However, these are bought with research notes. If you do not know how to obtain research notes, we have a small guide on this entirely painless currency that I will link down below. And 250 of the exotic essences of luck. For the new players, a level 1 artificer can combine luck, so you can take any small amounts of luck that you get and merge them to make the larger ones and build up this stack of luck over time if needed. If you haven't been doing that and need it really fast, you can salvage ectoplasms to get crystal and dust and luck and then sell the dust to get back some of the money, but this is usually a small net loss. I'm listing it as an option if you get stuck here. Combine the 3 stacks of reagents and the luck to make a Gift of Research. 25 Tales of Adventure. You earn these while playing the story. You probably already have them. If you don't, you can buy them off the trading post. Another Gift of Bones, just like the one you made earlier. Memory of the Bearkin's Hunts. This is the reward for those 250 Janthir spear kills. A note on this. I found using a spear in Convergences was a great way of getting this done quickly. Memory of the Bearkin's Victories. This is the reward for completing enough raid or convergence victories in Janthir. If you do only Convergences, you will need to do 7. If you do only raids, you will need to do 3 raid bosses. Or you can do a combination of the 2. Combine the Tales of Adventure, Gift of Bones, the Memory of the Bearkin's Hunts, and the Memory of the Bearkin's Victories in the Mystic Forge to create Gift of the Recollector of Memories. Then combine the 100 Mystic Runestones, the Gift of the Mist, the Gift of Research, and the Gift of the Recollector of Memories in the Mystic Forge to make Gift of Klobjarne Geirr. Final section. I swear to God, we're almost done. Memory of Bearkin's Adversaries is acquired by doing 6 world bosses or meta event completions. I believe these can be done in any zone in the game. 6 Deldrimor Steel Spearheads. These are crafted by a 500 weaponsmith or the Ward Crafter in Lowland Shore. Only new ingredient involved in the crafting of this item is the Deldrimor ingots. These were mentioned earlier in the video because a subcomponent of them can only be made once a day. So you can get these over time pretty cheap or buy Deldrimor ingots off the TP. 6 large spirit wood halves. Similar to the previous item, this one uses spirit wood planks. The planks are tradable, but a subcomponent of them is not, and can only be made once a day. That's the Glob of Elder Spirit Residue. You can buy the spirit wood planks off the TP if you wish, or make them yourself. The large spirit wood halves can be made at the Award Crafter as well if required. 6 Vision Crystals. Vision Crystals are obtained from various sources, such as salvaging Ascended Gear, but not a guaranteed drop, and the Wizard's Vault. They can also be crafted with the following recipe. Combine the memory of Bearkin's adversaries, the 6 Deldrimor Steel Spearheads, the 6 large spirit wood halves, and the 6 Vision Crystals in the Mystic Forge to create Gift of Sharpened Tip. Not a word. Next up is 250 Orichalcum, Mithril, Darksteel, and Platinum ingots. Make these or buy them, combine them all to make Gift of Metal. This is made only by a 400 weaponsmith or that ward crafter. The Standing Stones Timepiece is a reward for completing Lowland Shore Mastery Achievement, which is simply go do a bunch of stuff in Lowland Shore. You do not have to do all of it, just a bunch. If you got this item in the past and you destroyed it, you will need to buy a Standing Stones Timepiece remnant from a heart vendor in Lowland Shore. The Bearkin War Helm is a reward for completing Janthir Century Mastery. Again, you do not have to do everything there, just a bunch of it. If you got and destroyed the helm in the past, you will need to purchase a Bearkin War Helm remnant from a heart vendor in Janthir Century. Take the Gift of Sharpened Tip, the Gift of Metal, the Standing Stones Timepiece or its remnant, and the Bearkin War Helm or its remnant to the Mystic Forge to get a Nyr Hrammr. And finally, combine the Gift of Janthir Wilds, Gift of the Homesteader, Gift of Klobjarne Geirr, and the Nyr Hrammr to make the first of the 6 spear components. I'm kidding, come back, you're done. You are now the proud owner of Klobjarne gear. Now, after all of that pain and suffering, are you gonna sell it? If you choose to bind it to yourself, you will unlock it and all of its variants and can choose to wear whichever one you wish. Remember, if you unlock the item, it will go into your legendary armory and can be used on every build template of every character that can use it. Also remember that I have links to all of the steps in the description down below. Use them if you need more details. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm, comment if you have any questions or if you know any tricks and tips that I didn't share, and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content. Another massive thank you to the supporters on Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube who keep the channel alive. And if you're interested in becoming one and getting more videos and perks, there is a link in the description. Shilling complete, thanks for listening, and happy stabbing.